Chapter 4 Animal Kingdom. When you look around, you will observe different animals and different structures and forms. As over a million species of animals have been described till now, the need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. 4.1 Basis of classification. In spite of differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory, or reproductive systems. These features are used as the basis of animal classification, and some of them are discussed here. 4.1.1 Level of organization. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates, that is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of labor, which is known as activities, occur among the cells. In coelentrates, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here, the cells performing the same function are arranged into tissues, hence is called tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, and chordates, organs have associated to form functional systems, each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ systems in different groups of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in Platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth and anus and is hence called incomplete. A complete digestive system has two openings, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types. First, open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and tissues are directly bathed in it, and number 2, closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameters, example arteries, veins and capillaries. 4.1.2 Symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. Sponges are most asymmetrical, that is, any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves, it is called radial symmetry. Coelentrates, ctenophores, and echinoderms have this kind of body plan, figure 4.1a. Animals like annelids, arthropods, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane, exhibit bilateral symmetry, figure 4.1b. 4.1.3 Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Animal in which the cells are arranged in two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm, are called diploblastic animals, example coelentrates. An undifferentiated layer, mesoglia, is present in between the ectoderm and the endoderm, figure 4.2a, those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer known as mesoderm in between the ectoderm and endoderm are called triploblastic animals. Example, Platyhelminthes, two chordates, it is found in them. Figure 4.2b. 4.1.4 Coelom. Presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in classification. The body cavity which is lined by mesoderm is called coelom. Animals possessing coelom are called coelentrates, example annelids, mollusks, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates and chordates, figure 4.3a. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animals possessing them are called pseudocoelomates. Example Aschelminthus, figure 4.3b. The animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. Example Platyhelminthes, figure 4.3c. 4.1.5 Segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworm, the body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomenon is known as metamerism. 4.1.6 Notochord. Notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form this structure are called non-chordates. Example Porifera 2 echinoderms. 4.2 Classification of animals. The broad classification of Animalia based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding section is given in figure 4.4. The important characteristic feature of different phyla are described. 4.2.1 Phylum Porifera. Members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals, figure 4.5. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enters through minute pores known as ostia in the body wall into a central cavity known as spongocoel, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange, and removal of waste. Choanocytes or collar cells line the spongocoel and the canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate, also known as hermaphrodite, that is, eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Example, Sycon known as Scypha, Spongilla, also known as freshwater sponge, and Euspongia, also known as bath sponge. 4.2.2 Phylum Coelenterata, also known as Cnidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free swimming, radially symmetrical animals, figure 4.6. The name Cnidaria is derived from the cnidoblast or cnidocytes, which contain the stinging capsules or nematocysts present on the tentacles and the body. Cnidoblasts are used for anchorage, defense, and for the capture of prey, figure 4.7. Cnidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening, mouth on a hypostome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of cnidarians, example corals, have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms called polyp and medusa, figure 4.6. The former is a sessile and cylindrical form like Hydra, Adamsia, etc., whereas the latter is umbrella shaped and free swimming like Aurelia or jellyfish. Those cnidarians which exist in both forms exhibit alternation of generation, also known as metagenesis, that is, polyps produce medusa asexually and medusa form the polyps sexually. Example Obelia. Examples of this phyla are Physalia, also known as Portuguese man of war, Adamsia, also known as sea anemone, Penatula, also known as sea pen, Gorgonia, also known as sea fan, and Meandrina, also known as brain coral. 4.2.3 Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophores, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organism with tissue level of organization. The body bears 8 external rows of ciliated comb plates which help in locomotion, figure 4.8. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence, the property of a living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. Examples of this phyla are Pleurobrachia and Ctenoplana. 4.2.4 Phylum Platyhelminthes. They have dorso-ventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworms, figure 4.9. These are mostly endoparasite found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and acoelomate animals with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. Specialized cells called flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. Some members like planaria possess a high regeneration capacity. Examples of this phylum Platyhelminthes are Taenia, also known as tapeworm, and Fasciola, also known as liver fluke. 4.2.5 Phylum Aschelminthes. The body of Aschelminthes is circular in cross section, hence the name roundworms, figure 4.10. They may be free living, aquatic, and terrestrial or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworms have organ system level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and pseudocoelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed muscular pharynx. An excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, also known as dioecious, that is, males and females are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resemble the adult or indirect. Examples of this phyla are Ascaris, also known as a roundworm, Wuchereria, also known as filarial worm, and Cyclostoma, also known as hookworm. 4.2.6 Phylum Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine and freshwater or terrestrial, free living and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ system level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented and coelomate animals. Their body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metameres and hence the phylum name Annelida, Latin annulus meaning little ring. Figure 4.11. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like Nereis possess lateral appendages known as parapodia which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present. Nephridia, singular nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia, singular ganglion, connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Nereis, an aquatic form, is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. Examples of this phylum are Nereis, Ferretima, also known as earthworm, and Hirudinaria, also known as blood-sucking leech. 4.2.7 Phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia which includes insects. Over two-thirds of all named species on Earth are arthropods, figure 4.12. They have organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triple blastic, segmented, and coelomate animals. The body of arthropod is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax, and abdomen. They have jointed appendages, also known as the meaning is arthros means joint and poda means appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs, or tracheal system. Circulatory system is of open type. Sensory organs like antenna, eyes, compound and simple, statocyst or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through malphizian tubules. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Examples of this phylum Arthropoda are economically important insects, which includes apis, honeybee, bombyx also known as silkworm, lacifer also known as lac insect. अगर ये वेक्टर्स के फॉर्म में है तो उसके एग्जांपल्स हैं एनोफिल्स, क्यूलेक्स एंड एड्स also known as मस्क्यूटो. ग्रिगेरियस पेस्ट के फॉर्म में है तो लोकस्ट उसका एग्जाम्पल होगा ऑल्सो नोन एज लोकस्ट. अगर वो लिविंग फॉसिल के कैटेगरी में है तो उसका एग्जाम्पल है लिमुलस ऑल्सो नोन एज किंग क्रैब. 4.2.8 phylum mollusk. This is the second largest animal phylum, figure 4.13. Mollusks are terrestrial or aquatic, marine or freshwater, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. Body is covered by a calcareous cell and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot and visceral hump. A soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. They have respiratory and excretory functions. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ for feeding called radula. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Examples of this phylum are Pila, also known as apple snail, pink tada, also known as pearl oyster, sepia, also known as cuttlefish, loligo, also known as a squid, octopus, also known as devilfish, Aplysia, also known as a sea hare, Dentalium, also known as tusk sail, and Chytopleura, also known as chiton. 4.2.9 Phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles and hence the name Echinodermata, spiny bodied, figure 4.14. All are marine with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical but larvae are bilateral symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Digestive system is complete with mouth on the lower, that is ventral side, and anus on the upper, that is dorsal side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderm is the presence of water vascular system, which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of food and respiration. An excretory system is absent. Sexes are separate. Reproduction is sexual. Fertilization is usually external. Development is indirect with free swimming larvae. Examples of this phylum Echinodermata are Asterias, also known as starfish, Echinus, also known as sea urchin, Antedon, also known as a sea lily, Cucumeria, also known as sea cucumber, and Ophiura, also known as brittle star. 4.2.10 Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered as a subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under Non-Chordata. Hemichordates have a rudimentary structure in the collar region called stomochord, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, a collar and a long trunk, figure 4.15. Circulatory system is of open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory organ is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external and development is indirect. Examples of this phylum Hemichordate are Balanoglossus and Saccoglossus.